Welcome in, everybody, to Dumb Guy Live. This is episode 25 of Dumb Guy Live. Can you guys believe it? It's been 25 episodes. That's like half a year. It's literally been like half a year. It's crazy. It's crazy. We last longer than 1,000,000% of all Puro podcasts out there. Who usually they'll be like, "Yo, I'm gonna do a deep dive into Seedling today. Here we go. Welcome to the Seedling cast." And then it gets 4 episodes in, and they're like, "Oh wait, I've exhausted the entire history and current status of Seedling."
When do we do our Seedling episode?
Never.
We'll be doing that'll be our Dark Side of the Ring. We'll do an in-depth look into Seedling, the ghastly incident, the ghastly man.
We need to deep dive on that
one of my favorite things is fucking
Stardom.
Idiots. They talk about it like somebody like fucking died, dude. It's so like obviously it's real bad, but the ghastly. We must talk about it in whispers. Otherwise, people might know. All right. Yes, 25. This is a good point. Good point. 25 consecutive Beasts of the Week. I would be really interested if somebody was able to like keep a running tally of who's. I assume Tony Khan has won it more than anybody else because of Murph. But
that leads me to.
Only recently started.
I need to make a statement.
You have to make a statement. Yes, sir. The floor is yours.
Due to.
Did you just?
He's gone on mute. What happened there?
He's fucking muted himself right in the middle of his statement like an idiot.
Okay, due to some things I've heard in the last day, this really pains me to do this. I don't want to do it. Due to something I've heard, Tony Khan is on probation and is not Beast of the Week last week. Could it return? What? Yes, but for now, my Beast of the Week last week was vacant due to things I've
heard.
So,
oh my god, this is gonna ruin our record books. Jamie has to go back and change the tallies.
Prove me wrong.
This is the Dumb Guy Live ghastly
incident. Be wrong.
For now,
Tony Khan is not my last week's Beast of the Week.
Sorry, Murph's being obtuse right now, and he's being very cringe. He likes to let you guys know that he's in the know because he happens to be in a group chat with some people.
It honestly has nothing to do with any of that.
Yeah, okay. All right, we'll see about that. Anyway, if it doesn't, why don't you let me know what the fuck you're talking about, Murph? Anyway, let's we got a lot to get to today. This is like one of our most packed shows we've had since we started this show half a year ago. It was Golden Week in Japan, and that comes with it a myriad of big time shows, exciting events, all cool happenings in the world of Japanese professional wrestling. I would say the biggest among those is the New Japan Wrestling Dontaku show. We will do a full review of that. We're going to touch on the Noah Majestic show from Sumo Hall. We're going to touch on Mina Shirakawa versus Natsupoi, Mina's first defense of the Wonder of Stardom Championship. Stardom had a pay-per-view this past weekend. We're going to talk about Dragon Gate, Dead or Alive, one of their biggest shows of the year, a massively newsworthy show for Dragon Gate fans with a new Open the Dream Gate champion. And we're going to preview the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. Always an exciting time of the year when we get to preview tournament season. I love it. It's one of my favorite things about Japanese professional wrestling. I love Best of the Super Juniors. I love all the round robin tournaments. So that's the rundown for today, everybody. We are looking forward to talking about all this stuff. All right. This is a good one. I'm really looking forward to watching this match and this show. The Big Japan Yokohama Budokan shows are almost always fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to watching this match. I haven't gotten around to it yet.
It popped a great number too.
Yeah, definitely on my radar. So yeah, yes. We'll probably talk about this a little bit. Jamie-san, remind us to talk about this after we talk about Stardom. I think that's a good spot to maybe mention. Sound good? All right, thanks, buddy. See, look, I mean, it's just so much newsworthy stuff happening in the world of Japanese professional wrestling in the last week. I love Golden Week. It's a great time. But let's start with New Japan Wrestling Dontaku. We're going to go bottom to top as we do when we review shows. First few matches, not a whole lot to talk about here. Just some multi-man tags, right? We had some chaos. We had some some House of Torture, some United Empire, some LIJ, some Just Five Guys, all that type of stuff. So sort of limited newsworthy stuff. Final 5 matches on the show are really what made the show notable. And we will kick things off with an interesting match, I'll say. Kenta lost the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship to the giant Hikuleo, new champion in New Japan Strong. How do you guys feel about this match? How do you guys feel about the new champion?
This was ass. It was terrible. It was like, it wasn't even like, you see the Nanai match was like so bad, but this was just so boring. Like there was no substance. It was just 2 not very good wrestlers, which sucks because Kenta used to be so good. 2 not very good wrestling for what was the time? It was like 10 minutes, but it felt like 25. I mean, I don't know what to say. It was just, I don't recommend it. It's not Notebook.
I don't see it with Hikuleo. I just don't think it's going to happen for him. You know what I mean?
He's like the Solo Sikoa to to the Usos and Roman. He's that to Tama Tonga, and I'm giving Tama Tonga a compliment there. I think Tama Tonga is pretty good.
I agree. Tama Tonga is better than Roman Reigns. I agree with you.
Fucking sucks.
Yeah, I just don't think even Fale like coming in, who people say is like the worst guy in New Japan now, although he hasn't actually wrestled in a while. He's like advertised. Like even he was better than Hikuleo is.
Because you see, like Fale like main eventing like a Dontaku and facing like Okada, and like it makes sense. Like it would work. I can't picture this guy being in the World Championship match at a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I just don't. And again, he's still relatively young. I think he's only like 30, so he could put it together, but I just haven't seen it that much. Jamie, what do you think?
Yeah, just same. Like, we when we previewed it last week, I don't think anyone was really too excited for the prospect of Kenta versus Hikuleo. It was it was a very strong New Japan Strong kind of match. It's not the most exciting. Kenta for me is like one of my all-time favorites. But it's kind of sad to see, him in this state. And yeah, Hikuleo's not really doing it for me either. Princess Diana.
Yeah, we got a $10 super chat. Interesting that it's $10. I don't know why she's using American currency. Although she may be on the run. Maybe she's in like the Virgin Islands or something. But yeah, Jamie, I assume she means Scouse, brethren.
Yeah.
Booing the national anthem this weekend. Do you gentlemen think there's any chance this Mina Tam match ends in anything other than a time limit draw? Princess Diana, I'm going to pause on that question until we get to after the Mina Tam or the Mina Natsupoi review, and we're gonna give a nice little in-depth answer there as Murph shows off his Liverpool merch there.
The scarf.
Who was the last big guy who was good in Japan?
Cyrus.
Jake Lee. I mean, Cyrus is good. All the big men in All Japan are good.
All Japan is great big man.
Like obviously Suwama and Shuji Ishikawa are great. Yeah, I mean the only big guy in All Japan that's kind of not good is that Ren Ayabe guy, but he's just like kind of a shitter. So that's kind of that. Thank you for the £2 super chat, Dragon Master Adam. Appreciate it. I don't know what pound or euro is, and I will never know, and that's fine. Don't even try to tell me what the difference is, because I don't care. Princess Diana lets us know it's NordVPN in it. All right, that's good. That's crazy. The royal family subscribes to NordVPN. You would think they had some sort of secret way. But again, maybe you've been sort of exiled after
we need to talk
death.
We need a sponsorship. NordVPN.
You're watching. We should be sponsored by Prime, I think.
Yeah,
that would be good.
We've done enough.
Oh, so you know that like red, white, and blue flavor of Prime?
Oh, the ice pop.
It's real good.
Yeah. There's a Mountain Dew of that flavor out now. I assume it's only in America. I'm going to get some, and I'm going to review it on the show. It looks so good.
I'll have to look for it.
Jake Lee's tall. What are you talking about?
Big guy.
I don't even know.
Huge.
He doesn't carry himself that well. Like, I can admit that. Suwama is not as tall as Jake Lee, but he looks
like
he just looks big. You know what I mean? So Yeah.
Jake
Yeah,
Cody
like
only looks really tall when he wears like the dumb mask. Then he looks
yeah, that's
huge
true.
when he
Yeah,
wears,
the
like,
mask
dumb
helps,
little
the
mask.
helps. Okay, so let's move on to actual good wrestling. How about it? Zack Sabre Jr. Successfully defended the New Japan World Television Championship against Jeff Cobb. They went to a 15-minute draw, the first draw, I believe, in this title's history, which is good. It's something
Mm-hmm.
that you would expect to happen at some point with a title that only has a 15-minute time limit. Oh, this is a really solid match. We all thought it was going to be pretty good, and I think it lived up to those expectations.
Yeah, I like I like that they've not overused the draw. So when it
Mhm.
actually like happens, right, it kind of makes sense because if they do too many of them, then you're never going to look.
Feels like a cop out.
Yeah, you're not going to look forward to too many of these matches because you can't know where it's going to go.
You could call it the Stardom Memorial title. There's a bunch of draws.
Yeah. But, I was like half expecting a title change, but I'm not complaining with Zack Sabre Jr. Keeping the reign going. And yeah, it was just
I was actually reasonably confident that we would get a title change here.
Thank the Lord.
You act like
Well,
Jeff
yeah,
Cobb's so bad.
Seems like
I don't think
Samoa
Jeff
Joe
Cobb's
is
bad,
going
but
after
I
this
think
belt.
this title is just so perfect for Zack Sabre Jr. that I just don't want the reign. It's like how with Orange in the Intercontinental belt and the International belt, like the belt's just so perfect for them, and like all their defense has been so great. So like I don't want it to go.
So doesn't Sabre have one more match with it before Dominion? Or has the match already been confirmed? I felt like there was one that he
He
had.
faced someone on the ROH taping. So let me see who it was.
Oh yeah, it was someone interesting too, wasn't it? But yeah, anyway, yeah, it feels like
It was
oh yeah,
AR
Samoa
Fox.
Joe. Oh yeah, Samoa Joe is well, so he was confronted by Samoa Joe, right? And so I don't know when that match will take place, but operating under the presumption that we will get this rematch at Dominion between Sabre and Jeff Cobb, and then at Forbidden Door, wherever, maybe not Forbidden Door, I don't know, wherever it'll happen, whenever we'll get.
I want Joe in
Sabre
Japan,
versus
so hopefully
Joe.
Joe actually ends up winning.
I
Joe in
also-
Japan would be awesome.
I also want Joe in Japan. That would be fantastic. Okay. I'm going kind of rapid fire through these because we just
We
got
got a
so
lot
much
to
to get to, y'all. Never Openweight 6-man tag team championships. Probably the most star-studded Never Openweight 6-man tag team championship match in history. And for the first time in New Japan, Kazuchika Okada is the champion of something other than their world title. Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Tomohiro Ishii defeated Strong Style, Suzuki, Narita, and Desperado to win these titles. I
fun
love
thing.
this match. What's that?
What a fun thing! It's just
Oh
like,
my gosh,
so
it was
fun.
so this is like, it's a bit of a fan service match, but it's one like this refrain I've talked about for a while now, just inspired booking, fun matchups, something that we haven't seen before. Like this match is incomprehensible a year ago, right? It's like, what? This? So I'm just I wouldn't say the match was, it wasn't like a match of the year contender or anything. It was really fun and heated and fast paced. I liked the individual matchups that we had for this match. Suzuki and Tanahashi paired off, Ishii and Desperado paired off, and then of course Narita and Okada, who've kind of been feuding over these titles, paired off as well. And I thought that made for a really nice dynamic. I loved it. I loved the vibes. It was great vibes.
Yeah, this was tremendous. You mentioned this like a all-star kind of lineup. I think the interactions with everyone were great. Suzuki in there with like 3 guys who's got a ton of history with individually. But the main kind of story of this match was Ren and Okada, and I think the interactions between those two, they really like brought this match to a new level for me. I think the New Japan so far have done a lot right with the this kind of young lion crop that they've been bringing back in. We'll get to the other one a little bit later. They seem like they've got really big plans for. But yeah, it's just I really like the pairing, the trio of Strong Style. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with that now that they are no longer champions. But yeah, Okada's got a belt that isn't the world title for the first time in like forever. So it's interesting times, but I love it.
After the match, we got on the video board the return of the Death Rider, Jon Moxley, who announced that he is coming to Dominion and he is taking some friends with him. So it looks like it's going to be probably Moxley, Shooter, and Wheeler Yuta challenging. Or has the match been announced?
I don't think it's going to be Yuta.
You don't think so?
Because they're doing the Yuta trio at Resurgence. So I feel like they would announce it by now if it was going to be Shooter. I think it's going to be Claudio.
What's the match at Resurgence? Someone tell me.
I know it's those three teaming against Okada, Ishii, and someone else.
Yeah. So yeah, because I know there is some. Yeah. It is, so, but is it?
It's it's Okada, Rocky, and Ishii versus Moxley,
right,
and Umino.
So that makes me think it is that trio, because I think they're going to pin Rocky. They're going to earn a title match, and they're going to come back and do it in Japan. That's what I think. So,
I'm just going to go with my instincts here and hope for a little Claudio Castagnoli.
Well, the thing is, somebody has to lose, unfortunately. And I don't think if it's what's that? Yeah, Ishii. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think if it's Moxley, Claudio, and Shooter, I don't think any of those three are losing. So I think
out of
those
three, the funny thing is Moxley would be the one that takes the pin before the other.
Yeah, Moxley doesn't care. Yeah, Moxley's like, I'll do anything except for one person. But yeah, no, this was a ton of fun, and I'm really looking forward to Moxley coming back to New Japan. Moxley is one of these people. He had a WWE stink to him. I thought Dean Ambrose was not that good.
The last year of Dean Ambrose was brutal.
Even like when people thought he was like really good as part of the Shield, I didn't really love him all that much.
I liked him.
I was always a big Seth Rollins fan. I always thought he was like the star of the group, and I thought he was gonna go on to do the best things. But as soon as he left WWE and he wrestled in the G1 and he had that match against Juice, right? And it was like, wow, okay, this guy's for real. I mean, he's back.
When he had the match against Ishii and Korakuen, that's when I was like,
yes,
sold.
the Ishii match in Korakuen was crazy. The Switchblade match, the Naito match,
also the Janela match, the first AEW match.
Yes, the Janela match too. Yeah, and then of course
match bumps there.
And then of course getting into AEW at the end of the year. It's just great stuff. So I'm really excited to see that vibe back in New Japan. Hopefully we finally get that Saber match at some point that we were going to get before the pandemic happened. All right, let's see here. Semi-main event time. Tama Tonga lost the Never Openweight Championship to the Bullet Club leader David Finlay. You guys,
I like this.
I thought this match was pretty good. I didn't think it was great, but I enjoyed it for the most part. The anti-pop at the end of this match is one of the most spectacular, silent, semi-main New Japan Big Show finishes you'll ever see. The crowd was sitting on their hands with their eyes and mouths closed at the 3 count on the acid drop, or was it? What does he call that move? It's like the Yushiguroshi, essentially. I don't know. Oh my God. This crowd did not want David Finlay to win. They were not happy that David Finlay won. They love the Tama Tonga, but he is not champion anymore. But I don't think there was anybody who thought Tama Tonga was retaining this title. If you're going to make David Finlay the Bullet Club leader, you got to heat him up somehow, and making him champion of arguably your second most important belt is one way to do that.
I enjoyed this match. It kind of went, it was kind of like how we previewed it last week. There were a few doubts on. Some people aren't the most high on these two. We kind of agreed, Parker, that no one really likes Finlay, and Tama Tonga is like super over as a face. So at least the dynamic alone will like carry it to like a decent level. Finlay, man, he just kicked the shit out of him. He just battered them, and they were the crowd were really behind Tama Tonga, as they always were. And I just thought it was pretty solid. It's another one with Finlay. Like, I've never doubted him as a wrestler. I think he can have good matches. It'll always just be like the position with him. But I'm willing to give him a shot with this reign. I like this match, so we'll see how it goes. And yeah, man, the crowd were just stunned. That's just kind of how it is with Finlay at the moment. Tama's so over. So it was always going to kind of be a bit of a downer when he dropped that belt. But I don't know whether Tama's heading to WWE anytime soon. He seemed like he was like a victim of the hiring freeze, right? So now that he's like, there's a report about him being a free agent, and now that he's not the champion, he could be on the way out. But I don't know.
I sure hope not. I love Tama Tonga in New Japan right now. Like I just adore him. I think he's so great. He's so popular. He works hard. It's Monty. It's real graps, man. It's real graps. What can you say? Murph, any thoughts? Any more thoughts on this besides Finley's bad and you don't care about Tama Tonga?
You nailed
it. All right, let's move on to the main event. Couple notable things here. First of all, the match was really good. Sanada gets his first defense of the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against his former stablemate, the current junior heavyweight champion, Hiromu Takahashi. Let's talk about the match first. A lot of people were like, I was seeing live reactions to this match. I was not able to watch it live, but I was seeing live reactions to this match. A lot of people loved this match, thought it was like one of Sanada's best matches ever. Full disclosure, I didn't think it was quite on that level. I thought it was a great main event, classic New Japan style main event. Two great wrestlers in there for the title. What more can you want, right? I didn't think it didn't blow me away or anything, but I thought it was a great match. Murph, you're a big Sanada guy. What'd you think of this one?
It's everything I've ever wanted. I'm just happy to be here.
You and
happy
your
to see
Wrestle
Sanada.
One Impact fandom, Muto.
Dude, I literally, he used to come out to the England like it's coming home. It's I've watched him since he came out to like It's Coming Home, and he was taking pins to Muto looking like a geek, and now he's in the main.
What's the difference in 2023?
Muto. But Sanada being in the main event's great, and then once we start talking about the post match, I have so much to say about that.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that for sure. Jamie, thoughts on the world title here?
Yeah, I really liked it. I think it started off a little slow, but as it built towards the finish, I think the closing stretch was great. Hiromu as kind of like the underdog fighting against Sanada, I think he's brilliant, and he's ready for that heavyweight kind of run. He's in the best of the Super Juniors, but I think after that, I'm ready to see him move up.
Yeah.
And yeah, another great match for Sanada, delivering in the main event again. And it's just nice to see. It's just fresh matches at the top of the card. It's interesting times. But the as you alluded to, the post match, that had me fired up on another level.
We'll get to this a little bit in Best of the Super Juniors, but we talked about it last week too. I'm so ready for Hiromu to be heavyweight. Like, I just want it to happen. And the thing, I'm holding out hope a little bit because New Japan has been very patient in the past with moving people up to heavyweight. It's not always the earliest thing in their career. Like you can use like Tai Chi as an example of that, right? He was 38 before he was a heavyweight. So the other person I was thinking as we were talking about the 6-man tag match was Desperado. I think he's one of the bigger juniors, like inherently. He's one of their biggest stars, and every time he's been in a heavyweight setting, Okada match, Ibushi match, Ishii match, all this type of stuff, he's always brought it. And it's like he goes above and beyond. And I think Desperado is one of the most like malleable talents in Japanese wrestling right now, where if you put him in there with somebody great, it's probably going to be a great match. If you put him in there with somebody who's just okay, it might not be that great of a match. And frankly, the heavyweight division has way more great wrestlers than the junior heavyweight division. So I'd just rather see Desperado up there. I think that'd be really good.
Yeah.
So
the thing is,
go ahead.
With moving Hiromu and maybe Desperado, they definitely need to find some new kind of big names for that junior division. We're going to get into the best of the Super Juniors a little bit later, but we talked about that lineup, and outside of the those heavy hitters, we're looking for some fresh names. And,
there's a lot of mid carders in that division.
Yeah. Hey, Gleat they're not doing the best business right now. I'm just saying
they should just buy Gleat and make him the junior heavyweight division.
I don't think New Japan wants to deal with those businessmen, if you know what I'm saying.
I I mean, Strong Hearts were in New Japan like all the time last year. I don't know.
I mean, like to try and buy it because you don't really do business deals with.
I know. I'm being facetious, and I know you are too.
I know.
Okay, the big newsworthy thing off this show, which I thought was a really good show. I didn't think it was a blowaway incredible show, but I thought it was a really good show. To me, the best part of the show was this post match here. All right, so Just Five Guys come out, they're celebrating, they're happy. Sanada's still champion, he gets his first defense, and then we get the reveal. We get the sort of zoomed out view of Earth, the satellite image of Earth. We find out, okay, what's going on here? Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Somebody comes out. He's got a big hood over his face. He's got a big robe on. He walks out, and then you see on the video board Yota Tsuji. He comes out, pulls the hood down. He's got these long flowing hair. He's got a fucking shit-eating grin. He's like so happy to be out there. It was so good. You all need to go back and like watch this. Sanada's face as Tsuji's walking out, they like cut to him. He's like, he's like so surprised and shocked and appalled. And he's like, what? Tsuji. So Yota Tsuji comes out. He fucking beats the shit out of all the Just Five Guys. He dispatches them all so easily. He kills Sanada with a spear. Sends
so
him
good.
flying like a football tackle, right? That was a rhino gore is what it was. And he essentially lays down the gauntlet that he is the next challenger for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Before he leaves us, he does one final thing. He does the pose. He is a member of Los Ingobernables de Japón. After Sanada leaves, he is their first new heavyweight member since Shingo Takagi 4 years ago, which I think is a pretty big change there. So, hugely newsworthy stuff. This will be the main event of Dominion at Osaka-jo Hall. Sanada versus Yota Tsuji. Let's just talk about the reveal first and his entrance and his big return. Obviously, he's been a little bit in Mexico, mostly in the UK. We'll start with Murph because you're a big Tsuji believer. What do you think?
First, we're going to go a little story time with J. Murph baby. We're going to travel back to 2020 when they were doing these prelims, and there were two guys that showed out, Yuya Uemura and Yota Tsuji. I remember that everyone was like, holy crap, this Yuya Uemura. Oh, my God, he's the next big thing. Oh, my God. I'm like, guys, Tsuji's better. Watch these matches. Tsuji's not as good looking as Uemura. Tsuji isn't like an ace type, but Tsuji, I mean, he gives me like when he grins, he looks like Katsuki Nakajima a little bit, but also he's just like a big motherfucker. And I'm like, guys, Tsuji, he's gonna be good. Let him go to Mexico. That's what he wants to do. And this guy's gonna come back and be a star. Fast forward 3 years, Tsuji is in the main event of the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, and Yuya Uemura is dicking around in Impact Wrestling. Murph right again? Yes. But Yota Tsuji is a monster. This guy is so good. He's put on weight. He's a big guy. And you know what's the biggest thing for me? He won. He came to Dominion, did all that. First flight back to Mexico. And he showed up in CMLL Arena, Mexico. It was Wednesday, the show was. He was on Super Viernes. This guy's a stud. I'm a Yota Tsuji believer, so I like to say go to Tsuji, like because he's the GOAT, obviously. But Yota Tsuji, let's fucking go, baby.
Jamie,
oh man, good lord, this is a great return for Yota Tsuji. May have kind of touched on it, I think of the four that we kind of see grouped together, or Ren, Shota, Yuya, and Yota Tsuji. Tsuji's kind of the one who you never really saw the most hype for. Ren kind of had the Shibata thing. Shota was always Moxley's mate, and Yuya's had his hype as well. But Shota, Yota Tsuji kind of slid under the radar a little bit. But when he came out, man, he's getting the biggest push of them all.
I know,
I said before they've done a lot right by Shota and Ren. But neither of those guys have had the push that this guy looks like he's getting.
Did you see at Rev Pro when they had Yota Tsuji dress up like a monk and he wore the like the silk around his body, and they had him like I think he might have shaved his head, but he looked like a monk.
Cool.
But now and everyone was like, Yota Tsuji, he's no one, blah blah blah. And then he goes to Mexico, and now he's in the IWGP World Championship match. New Japan knows what they're doing. Sometimes they take a little too long, yes, but they know what they're doing.
And he looked apart, man. Like you said, he's beefed up.
He looked like a fucking star, dude. I mean, this return was so good. I mean, this was one of the best Young Lion returns I've seen since watching the product. The big notable ones that people remember are Jay White, of course. I mean, he gets a massive match in his first match back in the for the IC title at the Dome. I mean, that's a big deal, right? And then for a while, they were just so patient with them, and the Show and Yo didn't. They won. I think they won the junior tag titles in their first match back, which is a big deal.
They beat Rocky, Taguchi and Ricochet.
Yeah. And then for a while there, it was Master Wato, and who was kind of lame, and then Great Okan was. Some people really like him. I'm still not sold, and he's number 3 in a heavyweight stable, which isn't the best position usually to be in. But then since Shota, it's just they've been knocking him out of the park. But I mean, this one is just huge. They have not done anything like this since Okada.
Okada.
This is bigger than Jay, I would say. This is, I mean, to be in the main event of Dominion, which was made before the pandemic. This show was main evented by Okada and Chris Jericho. Yeah. And then before that, it was Okada and Omega for 2 years, right? Naito, Tanahashi, Sanada, and Yota Tsuji.
They're taking a gamble.
They're taking such a gamble, and they are clearly such big believers in Tsuji. He came out and he looked like a fucking star. He's I don't put as much stock in this as a lot of people do. He's so handsome. He's got such pronounced facial features, and the hair suits him so well. I love that he was a quarterback playing college football. I think that's a great little part of his lore. I think that fits him so well. But he's like a fucking Chad, dude. He's a Chad against the beta cuck Sanada, who's who I love. But you guys,
that image that you mentioned where he's reacting to him, man.
Chad versus Virgin.
He's scared shitless of him. He's like,
I'm so ready for.
And Sanada did and to be clear, Sanada did an awesome job putting him over. Sanada made this match. He was like, I gotta fucking sell this fucking Dominion, and so he lets him. He gets the shit beat out of him, right? He sells that spear perfectly. He acts like it's a big deal, like he's concerned and perplexed. It was so good. It was so good. I love this return. I want, and I think that Yota Tsuji is winning this title at Dominion. It would be the biggest New Japan shock since Okada. And they're very loath to do any sort of hot shot booking or anything like that. You know what I mean? They'll do the thing where people come back from injuries after being away for a long time, and they'll have them lose a few times, right? Because that's natural. But I don't know. It just feels like
it's such a tough call.
It's a tough call, but it's such an intriguing main event. Jamie?
Yeah, it's kind of obviously Sanada's kind of only just getting going, and I think he's been delivering so far. It's been a long time coming for him getting this kind of main event run. But man, when Tsuji came out, and like you said, he looked like a star, and it was just such a well executed debut. I just thought, fuck, man, do it.
Yeah, just do it, right? Just do it. You only get a one. It's like I've been complaining about. I complained about Stardom with Waka in the Cinderella, and I was like, "Is your shot to do this?"
I could. And I could say the same thing about
good.
About Dragon Gate that we're going to talk about later.
Yes, exactly. Yep, we'll talk about that later. Inspired booking. It's just like you just got. I think you got to do it.
I call it
to happen.
I heard this from another podcast, but it's called like a Sami Zayn effect. I mean, it's not your original plan, but sometimes a moment just comes up that's so perfect that you just have to.
That's what you do. That's what you do. And that's what good bookers do. Like the fans, the fans don't know better than you in the sense of like crafting a coherent story or anything like that, right? But the fans get behind people because they think they're really good
Yeah.
and because they want to see them and because they want to watch them. And that's why I was behind Waka. I was like, yes, she's been great for so long and she can win. And that's why you were behind Madoka Kikuta, because you were such a believer in hip hop from the beginning. And they did it. So we'll get to that a little bit later. But I think all of us are 2 thumbs up on Dontaku. Great show.
Two great
capped off
New Japan
by
pay-per-views in a row. Like,
yeah, and there was
Sakura
a couple.
Genesis was awesome. Now Dontaku. I think we're back.
Oh, we're back. We're so freaking back, dude. We're so fucking back. We need a
so many times this year.
2-block. Yeah, we needed a 2-block 12-man each G1, and then we'll be so back. We'll be entirely back.
Just like the best wrestlers. Like no like thank you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, get Yujiro out of there. Retire, bitch.
I mean, Yoshihashi's fine, but like no.
Yoshihashi can be in there. I'll allow it. Aaron
David
Hanare,
Finley's sadly is a
I'll allow
spot.
it. I'll allow it.
David Finley's stuck there, but we can have another 11. great wrestlers.
Phantasmo, get out of there, in my opinion.
No, get out of here.
Who else is like kind of borderline that we don't want to see in there?
Ishii's not going to be in it.
No, he'll be in it. You want to bet? You want to do another bet? You want to do another bet? He's a never 6-man title. He got to defend that title. Someone's got to pin him.
She's gonna be in there, man.
Yeah, Murph just buys into Murph just buys into these VOW reports.
I literally make fun of them every single week.
I'm joking, man. I'm joking. It is funny. A few years ago, they were all like, they're moving away from all these people, and then they like didn't.
They just never did.
They just didn't. I was like, I'm sure they were told. I'm sure they were told that.
Oh yeah, Chase is the big one.
Chase Owens, was he in it last year?
Yeah,
he was, wasn't he? Fuck that dude. Get him out of there. Chase Owens fucking sucks. No Fale. Hinare, you're allowed to be in it after the Shingo match. You're allowed to do it.
Dude, my dog.
If you wrestle a 5 1/4 star match, you're allowed to be in the G1. I don't make the rules, dude. Yeah.
I mean, fucking Lars Sullivan.
Great Okan, get out of there. Time to learn All Japan, buddy. You can go wrestle in All Japan. What's that?
With Bushi.
With Bushi. Oh man. Who I'm trying to think of who else, because it's like most of the heavyweights, like if they're New Japan heavyweights, they're really good, right? Yeah, Murph should just pull up the roster.
I'm gonna pull up the Climax from last year. Okay.
Oh yeah, just because it was 28 people last year.
Okay, Okada.
You're in.
Jonah.
Time to learn Stamford, buddy.
Lance Archer.
I'm fine if Lance Archer's in it.
Tom Lawler.
I love Tom Lawler. I'm kind of okay if he's not in it. You know what I mean?
That video's getting right to the F4W Discord. Jeff Cobb.
You're in, Jeff.
Fale.
Nope. You're not in it. You're not in it. You're retired. Sorry.
Yano.
Bye. Yano. Bye, Yano. You had a good run.
Tama.
You're in. Come back. Yeah. Tama.
Jay Whiteo.
Yeah, Jay White. Yep, Jay White can be in it. Sure. Who cares?
Didn't he lose a loser
Bring
league
him back.
match?
I know. I'm joking. He won't be in it.
Sanada, of course.
Yeah.
Taichi.
Yep. Come back, Taichi.
Okan.
I gotta be honest. I'm fine if you're not. That block was good last year. I enjoyed that block. See ya. Time to learn IWA Mid South. Ishii, yes.
Naito.
Yup.
Zach.
Yup.
Evil.
Nope. See ya.
Here's a couple in a row. Evil, Kenta, and Goto.
Goto, you're allowed.
Yeah.
Kenta, I want to believe.
Tanahashi.
But that Kenta Goto match last year was so fucking bad. That match fucking sucked. I think it was the main event of Korakuen, and it made me want to die. It was so bad. Tanahashi, come on back, Ace.
Hinare.
Sure.
Osprey.
Yup.
Phantasmo.
I'm taking to leave it. I know you love him.
Goodbye. I'm saying goodbye to you. Shingo.
I would certainly hope so.
Yujiro.
Nope. Time to learn
Yoshihashi.
Peter. Who? Yoshihashi?
Yoshihashi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finley.
He's got to be in it.
He's the Bullet
Juice.
Club leader.
Rock hard.
Nah, he won't be in it. Also, I'm
So,
kinda-
based on what you're saying, is we need a lot more than 2 blocks of 12, based on who you want to leave out and who.
Because
people
we're
wanna
adding
add in.
Shota, we're adding Narita, we're adding Yota Tsuji. We're maybe adding somebody from another promotion because there's been a lot of interpromotional stuff this year.
Let's make
Maybe
the prediction now. If there's anyone else from Japan that's in it, who is it?
T-Hawk.
Did he win?
No. Shotaro Ashino won.
I know he made it to the final. T-Hawk, I've been asking for so long. I don't even know if it's going to happen at this point.
We're talking in Japan, right? Like Japanese wrestlers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say T-Hawk.
I
Is the
have
most
a
likely, but-
real weird one. Yuma Onzai to take pin.
That'd be really interesting. I think that'd be cool. New Japan might try to fucking poach him though. That guy's gonna be Triple Crown champion by like this time next year.
Definitely. It could be Keno. He's doing a lot.
Keno would be. I would love Keno in the.
You know, it's
G1.
the Lek guy. The Lek guy just bankrolls Keno being able to go everywhere.
Yeah.
That's why he's working so much outside everywhere.
Anyway, I love tournament season. I love New Japan's. It's back, y'all. It's back. I just don't want that. I need a 2-block G1. I need the 2-block G1.
Well,
What can I say?
get ready to learn 4 blocks, buddy.
Well, what they can do, they should do. Who cares about wrestler health? Just do the tournament. It's the G1. Do a 14 block. Do it. No, not 14. A 2-block. 30 total wrestlers. You get 15 in a block. You got to wrestle 14 matches, and you're gonna like it because it's the G1.
Coming to New Japan Pro Wrestling, man, and you're trying to avoid the. No, you're doing the real G1.
You take a night off. Well,
You're gonna wrestle everyone.
Tell you what, if there's 30 people in it, you can have Toru Yano in it, so you can have a night off. Fine. You wrestle night off every other night anyway, because you do a tag match where you do 2 spots and you take 0 bumps. Come on. They need to give me the pen. Give me the pen, Ghetto. I'll do it. Give me the pen and give me the checkbook, and I'll make it happen. Okay. Enough of that. I love New Japan. I love New Japan this year. It's been great. We're officially back. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Stardom. Let's get into. I don't really, Jamie. I only watched the main event from this show. I know people were very happy about the. So how about this? Run through, because I know the Julia, Maika, Utami, and Saya tag was kind of notable. Run through that match, the next 2 title matches kind of quickly. Then we'll talk about Natsupoi versus Mina in a little bit more depth.
Yeah. So the main event of this show was kind of the only thing you really need to properly seek out. That tag match with Julia and Maika versus Utami and Saya. That was a great time. 2 teams I wouldn't mind seeing. Mixing up in the tag team division. Maika got the big win. I'm hoping that she's going to get a nice push up. I think we kind of predicted that.
I really hope so. I really hope so.
After the Hitmaker stuff. She seemed really pissed off too. I don't know, after the match. I don't know what she said because I don't speak Japanese, but she seemed quite angry. And she was in her hometown, so hopefully that gets going. And it seems like Aphrodite are in a bit of, they're not on the best of terms at the moment, so we'll see where that's going.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting little story they're telling. I like that. Queen's Quest. I love the individual wrestlers in Queen's Quest, except for Lady C. But I don't think they've been compelling as a unit for years at this point. So finally showing a little bit of discord there, I think is good.
Yeah, I think it's going to go one of 2 ways, right? It's either going to be, maybe they'll disband. I don't see it, but maybe, or they're going to have they're going to be bolstered a lot. I think Utami is a big shout for the 5-star, getting back into the title contention. The high speed title match. This is one that I was very certain on a title change. We didn't get it. Azumi versus Mei Seira. Not one of the best Azumi title defenses. I don't think. I think it was pretty good. Mei Seira, I don't think it's missed a beat pretty much since coming back. Getting back into the groove. But no, I just thought that she's kind of beat everyone, right, Azumi. So I thought.
Yeah, it's like, where do they go? What's like, who's going to win this title?
Well, I think I'm going to make a new prediction because I think the next challenger is the one that's going to do it. Saki Kashima came out again after this.
Okay,
match.
if it's her, it's got to. She's
got to be right.
Yeah.
I was kind of gutted when she didn't win because I know.
So
literally
what they did is they probably originally planned. So I keep cutting you off this episode, Jamie.
No,
but the what they probably did is they did probably originally intend for Saki Kashima to win in that first match, and then Mei Seira came back and they were like, "Oh, we got to do this," but then they were like, "Yeah, but we still want to put it on Saki Kashima, so we'll let her do the Mei Seira match, and then we'll go back to that." Yeah. So that's fine by me. I think she's earned it. She's improved a lot over the last couple of years.
Yeah, she's never had a singles belt, right? And she's been there. I know she had a long layoff, but she's almost an original.
Yeah, she's one of the longest tenured people on the roster, even with the long time away.
Yeah, I believe that match is going to be a 3-way. And I checked the schedule, like the Stardom schedule thing. The third person in it's Fukigen Death, apparently. So
all right.
Okay, maybe she's taking the pin there. They don't want to pin Azumi. I don't know. And then we had a Goddess of Stardom tag team title match. Just another one where I thought maybe we'd get a title change, just because we were in Fukuoka and it was FWC. We did not get that. Not one of like the best Goddess title matches of the year or anything, but still just another solid, pretty solid match. Nothing too notable. FWC were obviously like super over, but a successful defense for Mirai and Amisore, and then after that, Momo Watanabe and Natsuko Tora came out after they got a big win earlier in the show. So they're the next challengers for the next pay-per-view, which is May 27th. And then we're on to the main event of this show, which was Mina Shirakawa defending the Wonder of Stardom Championship for the first time against former Cosmic Angels stablemate Natsupoi in just another like outrageously good Mina Shirakawa match. Like what's going on, man? Like we all knew she was improving a lot. Particularly throughout the.
I just never thought it would happen. I'm floored. I'm blown away.
Like that. The Saya match at All Star Grand Queendom was excellent. And I think any the majority of doubters.
Bye, Murph.
He's gone. He's back. I think a lot of the doubters were kind of put away in that match. But if there were any left, then this first defense was kind of like proving that it wasn't a one-off. She's there.
Yeah, I think you could have argued that she's only ever had great matches with Saya Kamitani, and there's something to be said for that. There are some wrestlers who they just have great chemistry with somebody, and Saya's obviously a great wrestler, so it was easy to speculate that maybe she's carrying things there. But this is a matchup that we have not seen in a high-profile setting ever, right? Two former TJPW wrestlers, right? Just great, just a great main event. Natsupoi was awesome in this match. She's really just put together a really unique repertoire of moves as a wrestler. She has some cool kicks that she does. She's obviously always down for a slap fight. She's great with the Germans. She loves dropping people on their heads. It's just a nice, and then she has incredible facial expressions where you just see the determination and frustration and pain on her face. So Natsupoi is an excellent wrestler. She'll win this title at some point. I'm practically sure of it. It felt like okay, you beat Saya, you beat your rival, now beat somebody else that's not Saya for this, right? Natsupoi came out like a killer. It was like it came out for the first 5-10 minutes. It was like Natsupoi's like, you're not on my level. I'm better than you. I'm a better wrestler than you. I'm stronger than you. I'm faster than you. I'm more built than you. I'm better. And then Mina came back and won it. It was a great match. Great main event for Fukuoka here.
Yeah. And Natsupoi someone who could have really been endgame for this title run. But there's so many candidates, and we've said it before. That white belt division is like pretty stacked. There's so many who feel like they can be elevated next. So it'll be interesting to see, where we go from here. Murph, have you seen this match yet? I know you're a big Natsupoi fan.
I have not, but I bet it was good.
It was excellent. I think you'll really enjoy it.
Was this at the Fukuoka show?
Yes.
Yeah. After this match, we got the next pay-per-view main event set up. It's a pretty big one. It's Tam Nakano versus Mina Shirakawa for both the belts.
Whoa.
Yeah. This is happening on a Flashing Champions May 27th.
That has time limit drawn.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's
It's really
unless
weird.
like really, I know that the Tam win was unexpected, inspired booking, but I don't think they're gonna go, too crazy with it.
Double champ.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I don't see it.
I don't know. This is one of those things where I just don't. I'm sure the match is going to be great. I just don't love it as.
Does that
as
mean
a
they're going
booking
60-minute Broadway?
They're 30-minute time limits in World of Stardom matches. Well, that's just because like just you think back to like Utami Shuri, that was a time limit.
No, I know. I was just curious.
Yeah. No, you're good. So yeah, I don't love it, but I'm sure the match will be great. And it's fucking Tam, dude. Like she always gets the best out of her opponents. So can't complain too much.
What if Mina won?
I'd be like, what? I might be like, all right, y'all. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But it takes more than a couple matches to wash off Mina's first 3 years in Stardom and her success therein, or lack thereof. All right. Should we talk about TJPW really quickly? Big news out of the Tokyo Joshi Pro World. Yuka Sakazaki, before the end of this year, will be celebrating for some reason, will be leaving TJPW.
She's free.
Yuka Sakazaki, arguably one of TJPW, the top TJPW star of all time, will be leaving the promotion, and she will likely be going to AEW. The language is, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Jamie, is that she's moving to the US, based in the US full time after this, right? They haven't explicitly said AEW, right? But that obviously feels like
it's pretty nailed on, right?
Yeah. So, so what do you guys think about this?
Brings a tear to my eye.
And why?
Because Yuka Sakazaki is one of my favorite women's wrestlers, and she's out of that hellhole, and she's now in the land of the gods. So I mean,
the land of the gods.
So Yuka Sakazaki, welcome to the big leagues, kid. You've had a couple stints, but now they're a major leaguer, and it's time to go, baby. No more Suzume. Now we got Soraya, baby. Soraya, like real wrestler.
That was good.
Yuka Sakazaki. Let's fucking go.
Not wrestling Mahiro Kiryu anymore.
Praise the
Jade
Lord.
Cargill now.
Praise the Lord. I mean, I wish they did this for all my favorites. Not because I don't like Joshi. I actually like Joshi, but you see, to get to the main event, you got to watch all the stuff before it. And I'm not trying to watch Kamiyu and Kiryu. Like it's not fun. I know like the dog on Tokyo Joshi Pro on this podcast, but they have some great wrestlers. But you see,
I'm trying to watch a promotion that gave now Kakuda a freaking world title match a couple months ago.
You see, I didn't even know that happened, but
yeah, people were like, "Wow, that was really good."
That's that makes Triple H look like prime Baba. I mean, Jesus, but great move for Yuka Sakazaki, and I look forward to her in AEW for full time. She's been in AEW, but now full time.
So I haven't really enjoyed Yuka Sakazaki in TJPW recently. She's not. I would put her at the bottom of the like sort of top 6 that they have in TJPW, pretty solidly actually. I like pretty much every other main event wrestler in TJPW more than her. There was that weird little mini controversy last year where she essentially like big leagued Hikari Noah in the Princess Cup match. That was kind of weird. And then she had a really unspectacular title reign where she lost the title to Mizuki, which was supposed to be this big, spectacular crowning moment, and frankly fell flat. So I don't know. I do think Yuka is just suited better to American TV, weirdly enough. She's super charismatic. She's like, this is a very rudimentary comparison, obviously, but she's a lot like Riho, very popular, very likable, very charismatic, big pops every time she comes out. and I think she'll be successful in AEW. I would love to see her on Dynamite, Collision. I'd love to see her on Ring of Honor, right, wherever she ends up being, because there. I just don't care about TJPW, and even if you're a pretty good wrestler, it's like being in the promotion takes it down a notch.
There are
for
pretty
me,
good
so,
wrestlers
yeah.
everywhere. I mean, Impact has pretty good wrestlers. NWA has probably has pretty good wrestlers. But you see, if you're not going to be in an outlet where I'm going to watch you, then it doesn't really matter. But now
Mhm.
they're in an outlet where I watch them. Even if they went to Stardom, I'd be more likely to watch Tokyo Joshi Pro. Watch them and then
Mhm.
Tokyo Joshi Pro. But by the way it sounds, I don't think she's going to be working. I think she's going to be working in the United States only.
Yeah. So, Jamie, any final thoughts?
Yeah, just I'm pretty happy with this move. I think when she's in AEW, she's one of the more like you said, more over and I think more in ring competent women that they have there. I think she's had some great matches. Hope she'll have many more moving forward. In terms of for TJPW as well, I think this can be a big win for them if they do it right. Obviously, it's a big star they're losing, but it requires them to elevate. Some people that maybe they haven't tried to elevate to their fullest extent yet. I'm not the biggest. None of us are the biggest TJPW fans, admittedly. But people like Miyu Watanabe could maybe get a bit more prominence on the card. Mizuki's obviously now the champion, so she's one who's obviously getting up there. People like Suzume, they could do something with her. Stuff like that. But
to me, that sounds like Yuki Arai time, baby.
Yeah, well, that was the one I didn't want to mention. That's what I think they might do.
It's Yuki time.
Yeah,
hey,
but
you guys all talk shit on Mina. Said, "Oh, you only like her because of her looks." Oh, the same's gonna happen with Yuki Arai when she gets good. I'm telling you.
When she gets good,
Huh.
That's not happening. That's not happening. She will never be good. She'll be bad forever. It should be Miyu Watanabe. Frankly, it should be her. Like, why isn't it her, right? You know what I mean? They let her beat Miyu Yamashita in the Princess Cup last year, and then she won the international title for like 3 months. And then she's just like a wrestler now. Cool. Good story, y'all. So it just has to be her.
Storytelling promotion, right?
Yeah, the storytelling promotion.
I love this story.
All right, let's move on. We still got a lot to get to. Let's talk Noah. I'm not going to go through everything on this 14 match card, which I watched the whole thing of. I loved it, by the way. I loved it too.
It was a great show.
I don't know about. I think you're probably with me on this, Murph. Maybe not. I love a fucking New Japan, either Sumo Hall or Budokan or wherever, big arena show where there's like so many fucking matches and they just keep going and everything's a little bit different from the match before it. And I'm like, yes, even if the matches aren't that great, I'm like, I'm watching this.
Number. I wish it did a better number because like it deserved a better number.
I just love it. Every match from next to next was different. We had
I really like the show. It's really a shame.
Super Crazy was in the opener, and then we had luchadors the next two matches with the good-looking guys, and then we had Joshi match, then we had a junior showcase, and then we had Fujita and Tanaka, and then we had a different style match. And
it's a shame they did 2,700 in Tokyo because they deserved more because it was a great show.
So I'm not going to talk about this whole fucking show.
No,
I want to briefly mention I want to talk about Dralisco versus Rey Scorpion, which I thought completely surpassed expectations. And I thought Rey Scorpion was awesome in his debut. He was such a great heel. The crowd fucking hated him. And he's just like the classic heel luchador thing of everything you do is to get heat, to make it better for when the babyface obviously gets his offense together. And Dralistico looks solid. I'm very low on Dralistico compared to a lot of people.
I get it.
But yeah, I just thought brutal. I just thought he was great. What's that?
The Funaki Shinya Aoki match was brutal.
I didn't think it was that bad. I like Shinya Aoki.
I couldn't get into it.
But Funaki's been really, really underwhelming.
Everyone we would talk about how like great Funaki was, and like
I thought he was like one of the best like unsigned wrestlers in Japan. He was spectacular. You know, when he made the finals of the N1 in 2021.
Funaki Barnett gets me hyped.
I know. It's like goddamn.
In 2021, he worked 2 matches in New Japan Strong. And they were in my top 5 New Japan matches of the year. It was Alex Coughlin and Josh Barnett, which I gave like 4.75. I love that match so much. Josh Barnett wrestling is like my favorite thing in the world. So
it's gonna be this one. It has to be because Barnett is not somebody who's gonna fuck around. Like Barnett brings it when he wrestles.
He won't wrestle if it's not good.
Yeah, he's like Brock. I mean, he's a lot like Brock in what he does. Okay, title matches. Briefly, the fucking Ogawa and Ridgeway versus Eita and Daga match was so
What the
fucking
fuck?
stupid. They wrestled for 13 minutes, and then Daga just turns on him. It's like, what? Why are you wasting my
that
time?
Has to be it for Eita.
Yeah, it's just they're like rubbing it in, dude. They're like, how dumb can we make the juniors? Okay, title matches. What the fuck? Who won this match? Suzuki and Saxon won, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hideki
No,
and Suzuki.
it's Thatcher and Saxon.
Yeah, Thatcher.
Thatcher and Saxon. My apologies.
Mm-hmm.
Timothy Thatcher. Well, it's some memory I have. Timothy Thatcher and Saxon Huxley are your
Real,
new
baby.
GHD. Yes, real in Suzuki. Yes, Hideki Suzuki's stable there. They won the tag titles from Takashi Sugiura and Shuhei Taniguchi. I thought this match was pretty good.
I liked it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was crazy. Saxon's
continue to bring in
interesting.
more like old NXT guys, like fucking Kona Reeves should be the next real member.
You know who I think would be legitimately very good in this group?
Let me guess.
Oh, damn it! I said it.
I didn't hear it.
Okay.
Danny Burch, you're thinking of.
No, that would be good though. Only Lorcan would be good, or fucking Biff.
He's back though. Who do you say? I didn't hear you.
Tucker Knight.
That's a good one. I didn't think of that one.
It's also like kind of plausible. I feel like because he does he does a lot of Black Label Pro. He's Levi Everett. He does Black Label Pro and he wrestles Tom Lawler a lot.
I'm trying to think any other. Who's like the dude that was in the original Diamond Mine?
Tyler Rust.
Oh, right, yeah. That was right off the dome. Fucking Rust Taylor.
Yeah.
Russ Taylor.
That was Rod Strong's stable, man. I was a big Diamond Mine believer, you know.
It was
They
cool.
were
They had
doing
just had
something with my
Hideki Suzuki, and he wrestled 0 matches. He's just
stood there like that. I was like, yeah,
Hachiman. Yeah.
I was with it, you know, and then they just ripped it apart. Who else could they put in the reel?
I need to think
move
on because like there's
you keep thinking. I'm gonna keep talking about this card.
Go on.
Friend of the show, Ninja Mac, did not win the junior title against Hayata. He gave it his best shot. I want to say Ninja Mac's contract might be up kind of soon. This might have been his swan song. I think he might be on some cards. I can't remember coming up, but he might be moving on from Noah for a little while. This was unspectacular. It's Hayata.
Our friend Ninja Mac made his debut in ROH, so
I know. Yes,
at the ROH tapings in Orlando. So go Mac, go! He teamed with Willie Mac, the Mac Attack.
I know the Macs. We will always support Ninja Mac in everything that he does. Okay, semi-main event. So actually, no, sorry, third from the top. There's so many fucking matches on the show. GHC national title. This was, despite a retention, I felt an upset. Ihode Dr. Wagner Jr. Successfully defending the national title against Hideki Suzuki, who never loses.
I was shocked by this.
I was too. I thought for sure that Hideki Suzuki was winning that title, but no. Ihode Dr. Wagner Jr. is still the champion, which I'm completely fine with. I love him. He's great. Super charismatic. The crowd loves him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Hideki just got a new faction. I thought, this is how we make that.
Yeah,
feel
it just felt like
thing.
Yeah.
He won this belt in November, which for Noah is a long reign.
I know he's been champion for 6 months, and he's beaten some big names too.
Mm-hmm. I was about to say, Wagner's gone under the radar a bit. But he's having a really solid long reign.
He's the man. I hope they bring in his brother. They need to bring in his brother.
Galeno Del Mal.
Yeah.
He's fucking bad, dude.
What?
You're
fucking with me, right?
No, I'm not. He's bad, dude. He's just like
He's
fat.
heartbroken. Look at him.
He's just like muscle bound fat. He can't do anything, man.
But he can
He's
move,
like
though.
garbage. He can't. He looks like he can
I'm
move because
stumped,
he's
dude.
giant. He can't.
I'm speechless.
He's real bad, man. People like him because
Man,
he's
I'm
like
so
a
sad then, man.
big dude, and he has a cool robe when he comes out. He's not good.
I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that and move on.
Maybe we'll watch his Gleet run in the Discord maybe sometime, and we'll make judgments on this.
Yeah.
No, the only dude that was
right
brutal
there,
was
man. He-
Axion Jackson. That was the worst of the dudes, of the Lucha dudes.
I love Axion Jackson. What are you
He's
talking
terrible.
about?
He was awful.
Murph then he looked like Sanada when Tsuji came out. He was like,
Yeah,
fucking
it's like,
gobsmacked. So, what?
That was good. All right, semi-main. This was the best part of the show. I almost hate saying that because I'm such a wrestling guy and I don't particularly care for angles and stuff that often.
What an angle.
But this was a 6-man tag: Kaito Kiyomiya, Go Shiozaki, and Yoshiki Inamura taking on Kongo, which was Keno, Katsuhiko Nakajima, and Manabu Soya. It was Nakajima getting the pin on Go Shiozaki with the Brainbuster. This is what a lot of times this is a convention.
Before we
in
talk about the
Japan.
angle, can I talk about the match real quick?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was just saying it's a convention in Japan. When you come back from an injury, a lot of times they beat you on your return match, and it was a good. It was like, okay, yeah, this is a good way to heat Nakajima back up after losing a world title match. Fine by me. Go ahead and talk about the match.
The one thing I thought was, my favorite thing. This leads to angle was, Nakajima was hitting Go with these kicks to the head. Did you remember this?
Mhm.
Like with these like strong kicks to the head. And usually when there's gonna be an angle like that at the end, they'll sometimes like hold back and not like show much, like because you don't know how it's gonna work. But I liked how he still beat the shit out of him, and then he led to the angle. So
it was really good. So the match itself was really good. Just a great star-studded 6-man tag. It wasn't blow away or anything, but it was really good.
Yeah.
But then after the match, Nakajima's sort of lingering, right? He's sort of standing halfway between Kongo and Go. He goes over, he sort of like chats with Go a little bit. He's like sort of checking on him. As a fan, you're like, he's mocking him because it's fucking Nakajima's a fucking shithead.
sadistic.
But he reaches his hand out. They clasp hands. He pulls him up, and Axiz is reunited for the first time since mid 2020. It's been 3 years since Axiz has been together.
This made me
Katsuhiko
so
Nakajima has been in Kongo ever since. He's had a lot happen. He won the N1. He won the world title. But it is now reunited they are now reunited together
moment.
as Axiz. And it was big. I mean, they felt like best friends. They were embracing, right?
It was honestly
Go-
like it felt like the Golden Lovers kind of thing in 20.
It did feel a little bit
18.
like that. Shiozaki is ecstatic. Keno's pissed. Keno's like, what?
They did their old
Kaito
pose.
and Inamura are befuddled. Yeah, this was great. I loved it.
They hit the
and I love
music.
Axis.
When they hit the
Mhm.
music, the people went crazy when they hit the. No, this was.
I joked earlier in the show when you talked about New Japan, saying like, "Oh, we're so back," and it feels like there's been a lot of moments in Japanese wrestling this year where that sentence has been like applicable. This was one of them. Axis are back, and it just feels like, oh, fuck. Man, there's so much good shit going on this year. This is like, it's just exciting times, man. Axis,
My 3 favorite Japanese tag teams of all time. Number 1, Speed Muscle. They're never getting back together. We know that. Number 2,
Maybe.
Axis. They come back this weekend. 3, the Violent Giants. They come back They come back soon.
You're a Violent Giants fan? Since when?
I voted them in like the awards for like 10 straight years. It was like,
Oh.
but I love the fucking Violent Giants. But what a great week for tag teams. Axis, I'm really excited for because they're great, and it's not often you have 2 elite wrestlers in a tag team, and that's what happens in this tag team. So I love it.
Okay. The main event was really good. Jake Lee successfully defended against Naomichi Marufuji. I thought it was a great match. Marufuji's best singles match in forever.
Beat the wash
I thought.
allegations.
Yeah, he has successfully beat the washed allegations. Jake Lee has successfully beaten the shitter allegations. Having a great match with 2023 Naomichi Marufuji. And yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot to say
They
necessarily
cheered
about
for
this
Jake Lee at
match.
the end of the match, which is about my favorite part.
Yeah,
like
it was
won
just
them
a
over.
great match. He won. So yeah, I'm just trying to get through some stuff because we still have got a lot to get through. Quickly before we move on to Dragon Gate, I'm going to very briefly mention Shotaro Ashino won the Champion Carnival this past week in a big time Wrestle One vibes match. He beat T-Hawk in the finals. I have watched only the opening night of this tournament. I am so excited to go back and watch it. There's just lots of great wrestlers, and he will challenge Yuji Nagata for that world title in the next few weeks, which is very exciting. So,
Hopefully,
and a lot of people think
a challenge in a hotel ballroom in Okinawa like the last one. That was stupid.
Well, I'm looking forward to the outcome of that match because I think Shotaro Ashino might win it. I think it might be. It just shows you guys got to have a little patience with people. It's okay to like wait a year or two, right? It's one thing when Mio Watanabe has been so clearly ready to be that person for like years, but it's like All Japan has Suwama and Kento and Yuma and all these different guys. It's okay to like just be a little bit patient sometimes. And it is finally Shotaro Ashino's time. Okay, let's move on to Dragon Gate. Murph, the main event. I only saw the main event from the show. I'm going to go back and watch the rest of it because I know it was a very good show top to bottom. Great card, just in general. But the main event is obviously the big story. Madoka Kikuta is the new Open the Dream Gate champion. He beat Shin Skywalker at Dead or Alive. Murph, what was your thoughts? Give us the report.
First, I'll say I told you so. I mean, I told you it was going to happen. You said no.
We bet $20. I thought Shun was going to win. I did not think it was Madoka Kikuta's time. I did not believe in Dragon Gate this time. I was wrong. Murph encouraged me to donate the $20. It is AAPI Asian American Pacific Islander month. I donated it to an AAPI advocacy group, which I was happy to do. So thank you for that encouragement, Murph. The report.
This match had to this was the only result. There was no other result that could have happened. You see, when this started the show, this whole thing started, I thought Shin was going to win easily. But then if you watch these shows, Kikuta was gaining momentum like no one else had in Dragon Gate in a long time. Yoshioka had a lot of momentum, but Kikuta just was on another level compared to that. So Shun did his SSW quest, where he had Madoka Kikuta beat all these people. He had Shun do all, and D-Courage, they kept winning these matches. They won the handicap matches. He was on his way to winning this. In Madoka Kikuta, there's a time where he had to win. There was no other result. And Kikuta won, and Madoka Kikuta beat Shun Skywalker. And this is a different Shun Skywalker than the Shun Skywalker most of you know. Shun Skywalker's slowed down his pace. He's working more a dominant style. But you see, in a promotion full of small guys, Madoka Kikuta is bigger than Shun Skywalker and could outpower him. And this was 2 years to the day, 2 years to the show, where Madoka Kikuta challenged as a heel against Shun Skywalker and broke his arm, and he was gone out for a year. And he caught fire. First, when Madoka Kikuta came back last year, he was a bum. He was taking pins. He was doing nothing. He became the young boy for D-Courage. But he worked hard, and he got to the point where he had to be the Open the Dream Gate champion going into Kobe World. So I am ecstatic about this how this went. I think Kikuta is going to be unreal. And I want to hear Parker's thoughts on the match, but this match was crazy. And this is one of the finishes where I like jumped out of my seat just because winning this match was just unreal.
So first, I'll say I was a little disappointed because I did have it spoiled for me ahead of time. And, a finish like fault. This. No. It wasn't just you. It was just Twitter. I wasn't good about avoiding stuff. The matches like this, obviously, the not knowing the finish ahead of time makes things so much better. Like, I was so happy that I just happened to wake up for Sanada's challenge when he won the title from Okada. Right, it was such a big deal. I thought this match was awesome. It reminded me like a little baby version of Shun versus Yamato, to be honest, from 2021. Just with the hard hitting, like it eventually got to a point of one-upsmanship, of just people throwing bombs at each other, going back and forth. And
I think Kikuta is a young Shingo. He reminds me of a young Shingo personally.
I could see that. I could see that. That's big shoes to fill.
I got that watching.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's big shoes to fill, but I think it's possible. Again, Shin Skywalker is 27, my apologies. Madoka Kikuta is 23. Okay. Yuki Yoshioka, he's like, what, 29, something like that. He was the champion
younger, I
prior.
think.
28, something like that. Finally, people talked about the youth movement forever in Dragon Gate, right? But for a while, it just felt like, aside from Shun and then to a lesser extent Yoshioka, I was waiting for people to really take that next step and establish themselves and be the top. And I think finally, with the closing shot of this show, with the future top 6, Shun, Kikuta, Yoshioka, Benkei, who else am I missing?
Strong Machine J.
Minora and Strong Machine J. I think it's like, okay, it's time. This is the future. I think Strong Machine J is a little bit of a pretender in that
Strong Machine Gay.
Strong Machine
Yeah,
Gay, super Strong Machine Gay. But
we should have him on Dun Gay Live.
Yeah, not to be confused with Razor Ramon Hard Gay of Hustle. But yeah, I tend to say we should have him on Dumb Gay Live. That's funny. Yeah, no, I thought this match was great, and I've not been the highest on Kikuta so far. Part of it is because I've been a little bit checked out of Dragon Gate just as a whole. I just don't think it's been as compelling this year as it normally is.
Outside of Kikuta, it hasn't, but Kikuta has been the highlight of the promotion. He's been the star.
I'm looking forward to taking a few moments, taking a couple hours, going back over the last month or so, watching I still didn't see his match with Minora, which a lot of people raved about. So I'm looking forward to getting a sense of how we got to this point. But
no, Kikuta's
in this match itself, going in, I was like, Kikuta, nah. But as the match goes on, it becomes very clear it's his time, and he's ready for this. So yeah, I love it. I think it's it's a great.
Before we move on from the main event, do you have a prediction for the Kobe World main event?
I feel like it's gonna. Is it just one night?
One night.
Benkei.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Benkei.
I was thinking because he's gonna defend. I think he's gonna defend it. This is I think he's gonna defend it against Marufuji at Corkin.
That'd be really cool.
I think
Marufuji was on the show.
Yeah. So I'll get back to that. So the show opened up with UT coming back.
We're a little low on time.
I'm just gonna go real quick.
All right, yeah, give us a rundown. Give us the rundown.
So the show opened up with UT comeback match. It was nothing special. They lost to Kagatori and Kaito Nagano. Then there was like a shitter match. No one cared. Jason Leeds versus Dragon Dai, I recommend, was very good. Brave Gate title. Mm-hmm. I won't give you the results so you can see it. Then outside of that, there was Dragon Kid and Marufuji versus Yamato and Yoshioka. And Marufuji won by pinning Yoshioka. So I think Marufuji might be the next challenger. And then after that, Stalker came out and they did Marufuji and Stalker.
Right, as you do. That checks out.
And then Kongo versus Zebrats. Ishin's like big now and he looks just like Kai. It's awesome. So, but then Kongo won that. Kongo's still champs. No, Dragon Gate's really setting up well, and I think this show may have given them a little boost. And also, they did a pretty good attendance number for like the circumstances.
They did a great attendance number. I'd say 2,700 from fucking Aichi from Nagoya.
They did
That's
the
pretty
number.
Good.
So it was the most attended this year in that building, and there was 2 New Japan shows. And since the pandemic last year, it's the second most attended in that building. And New Japan's run like 10 times.
Yeah, this was New Beginning in this show, and it was they drew over 1,000 more.
So you have to take it with a grain of salt, considering. Like, I know there
were no restrictions. There were no restrictions for the March show, which was a New Japan Cup show.
Yeah,
main evented by Sanada and Kenta. Also had a Naito singles match on it, and that drew 2,200. So,
what you got to think of is they were doing 5,000. New Japan was doing 7,000.
It's also Golden Week.
Pandemic, but it's just a different business now, and the business isn't as strong as it was. So it'll get better. But just to talk about that, they did a great number in Aichi when. Really, I mean, Stardom didn't do a great number, and the New Japan number could have been a little bigger, but it was still great. But, it wasn't outside of like Big Japan, it wasn't like the best weekend for business, Golden Week. So I was very happy with Dragon Gate. So let's move on to quick Best of the Super Junior rundown.
All right, y'all. Best of the Super Juniors. What the fuck edition is it? Like 29, something like that. That checks
I think
out.
it actually is 29.
Ooh, is it a good guess? Maybe it's 30. It's 30.
Oh,
Last year was 29. I had a good guess. Okay, I'm gonna run down the participants real quick. I can scroll down and find it.
I have
There
them
we
up.
go. All right. I got it. Block A is Hiromu, Ishimori, Sho, Titan, Doki, Kushida, TJP, Leo Rush, Mike Bailey, and Ryusuke Taguchi. Block B, Desperado, Yo, Robbie Eagles, Francesco Akira, Bushi, Clark Connors, Kevin Knight, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Master Wado, and Dan
Trilla.
Maloney. Okay, little wrinkle to this year's tournament. It's the same format as always, except it's not going straight to a finals. It's going to semis and then finals,
I like
which
that.
I think is interesting, and I'm curious what they're actually going to do with it. Another thing that's unique about this show: there's only 12 nights of block action. I think there are 6 nights of the entire card is just BOSJ singles matches.
I love that.
Which is a ton of content to get through. So there's probably going to be some short matches on those shows that lead up to some longer main events. But let's just talk about our prediction. Well, okay, we'll get predictions at the end. I'll say what 3 wrestlers are you most looking forward to watching? Whether just because you really like them, like it's like Hiromu, or whether it's somebody you're excited to see. Let's start with Merv.
I'll say Desperado, Kushida, and Dan Maloney.
Nice.
I'm excited to see what Dan Maloney has because I've never seen him before, and I've only heard great reviews about him. So I'm gonna say those 3 just because I love Kushida. I'm happy he's finally back in a Best Super Junior. Desperado because I love him, and I'm excited to see what Dan Maloney has.
I think for me, I'm looking forward to seeing what Kevin Knight can do with some of the guys on the roster. Speedball, he's one of the only like outsiders we've got in the mix. Consistent on the indies and stuff. So, and then Francesco Akira, because I think he's someone who could like do really well here.
I love him. I'm so high on him. I think he's just great. All minor in Block A. I think Block A is like indescribably better than Block B. I think it's one of the biggest differences that we've had in a tournament in a long time. My 3 are going to be Leo Rush, who is my number 1. Very, very excited to see Speedball Mike Bailey. I know some people are kind of lower on him for whatever reason, but he's great. I saw him have a 4-star match in person with fucking one called Manders. I don't know what
Iowa football player.
Oh, I'm aware. He's very over in Iowa. And then I'm also looking Kushida coming back to the tournament after a few years away. I mean, I'm super stoked about that. So that's my 3. Very much looking forward to those. But yeah, definitely also to a lesser extent. I see a lot of people saying Kevin Knight in the chat. Going to be exciting to see him get some real singles action in Japan, which we haven't seen from Kevin Knight yet. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, I just read your message, Murph. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. So all right, let's get into. And then, is there any like big match that you're really excited to see for any of you?
Kushida and Hiromu.
What was that? I missed that.
Just any exciting matches that you want to see. What's going on?
My internet's gone. I'm having a Chris moment right now.
Jamie, no, yeah. Jamie, I don't believe it.
I think I'm back.
Okay, all right. Any exciting matches you're excited to see?
I believe I might be wrong. I only took a quick glance on the opener night. Is Speedball versus Hiromu, right?
Yeah.
So that'd be great.
It's gonna be great. I'm super excited for that one. That's probably my number 1 as well. I'm just looking towards the end. It's always a nice thing to look towards the end. Very much looking forward to Mike Bailey versus Leo Rush, especially if that ends up main eventing that show. That'll be on the second to last night of block action. A super exciting matchup to me, really fresh one too. So looking forward to that too. But again, we haven't even really mentioned Titan. Any of his matchups in block A are going to be great, I think. So yeah, and then Desperado has more main events than anybody else in the tournament, so he should have a really solid tournament too in Block B. He should run away with the Block B MVP unless Akira or Kevin Knight just comes out and is just great, right? So okay, let's finish it out with predictions. Who do we think, y'all? I think this tournament's like wide open. There's no one obvious pick. While you guys think, I kind of have my pick.
I have my pick.
I'm gonna go with Speedball Mike Bailey. I don't think it's just my fan of him being coloring things. I think he's the best fresh, exciting face in the tournament. Why not? Why?
Just not gonna happen.
But why?
Because he's from Impact.
Okay. What? New Japan does this all the time. They love letting freelancers win Best of the Super Juniors. That was like their favorite thing for a while.
Wait till you hear my prediction.
Okay, but he's gonna say some like Clark Connors bullshit because it's bullet
show.
Show. It won't be show.
I bet you show has more points than Speedball by the end.
No. Should we do another bet?
Another $20 bet. Winner
Another
goes
$20 bet. Speedball. No, Speedball's gonna win.
Show, baby.
Jamie, who do you think?
I'm feeling Francesco Akira. I feel like he might have. He's not tag champ anymore, and I think I'd like to, that's maybe more what I'd like to see.
What's like their hands on? Like the catch 22.
What is it? UE? What do they do? They do like that?
No, I'm talking about like the TJP, and they do with like both their hands.
See, I'm just looking at the comments here. Like, Icon thinks it's going to be Watto, right?
I'd love that.
Some Laws thinks it's going to be Connors. There's tons of like some people think Maloney might win it, right? They love giving it to like people in their first tournament. But
I think Maloney
the tournament, I think it's so. Some people think Taiji Ishimori is going to win it because he's talked about the relationship he has with Hiromu. I don't think it'll be Ishimori. I just think they've done that match a ton recently, and I just don't. Now that I think about it, this was not on my radar. I'm gonna put his comment up here. Their comment.
Watto would make sense.
I kind of fucking think it's gonna be Master Watto.
That makes a lot of sense.
I don't love it, but he's been better in the last year than he was in his first couple years, so I'll give them that. But Mario Judah thinks I could potentially win it. That's pretty cool. Oh, by the way, I completely skipped over your super chat a while ago. $1.99 for Mario Judah. We are amazing. Mario Judah loves all. Thank you so much, Mario Judah. We love you too.
If you don't love you, we'll die very rough, right? I'm a big dog, big man. I'm a lion.
Yes, dude. Yes, well said.
Shut the fuck
up. Yeah, I'm actually, you know what? I'm switching it. IDEK convinced me. I think it's going to be Master Watto is my final pick. But I think Speedball's getting to that semis. I think he's getting there. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see about that.
I wouldn't rule out Desperado.
Yeah, and you can never rule out Desperado, especially if Hiromu's champion, right? So, okay. Finally, after all this wrestling, it is time for our special segment that we do every single week. It is the Beast of the Week segment.
Wow.
It's like, I'm a beast. It's me. Jamie, you always start us out, and I feel like you never have one prepared. But Jamie, who is your Beast of the Week?
I do have one prepared.
Excellent.
It's not the most inspired pick because it's kind of someone who like everyone's been talking about this. But you know, we're by no means a pro WWE podcast. But I watch Backlash.
This is a good pick.
I watch Backlash. And, you know,
you drone.
I'm watching, Damian Priest versus Natsupoi in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and my God, this is like a WWE match of the year. It was just like the crowd. You know, the crowd's a huge part of like the quality of a match, and this crowd was like one of the best crowds I've seen for like any wrestling event in a long time. They were like so up for it. And Bad Bunny just felt like a god in Puerto Rico. And you know, we're up there with Logan Paul. I like it when celebrities, like, you can always tell when they're fans, because they, you know, they throw themselves into it. Bad Bunny's obviously like, you know, a big lover of pro wrestling because he threw himself into this match with Priest, and Priest had a great showing as well. One of probably his best WWE performance to date. But my beast of the week is Bad Bunny for a great showing in his home country.
I haven't seen the show, but everybody says he just fucking nailed it. I'm really
Oh,
excited to watch this match at some point. I've been such a fan of Logan Paul in WWE, and people say this is even better. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Okay, so as I made fun of you for potentially not having one ready, I decided to check my phone while you were talking instead of actually trying to think of one. So I'm gonna reflect back on the last week and consider who I think might. You know what? I'm gonna go back to it. I put him over earlier in the show. I think a good beast of the week is somebody who just does way better than you would have expected in their spot, and I think nobody exhibited that more in the past week. Well, I can think of one person who maybe exhibited that more in the past week, and I think Murph might be going for this guy, so I'm going to leave it to him. But I think Rey Escorpion was so fucking great in the Noah match against Realistico. He just made it really entertaining, exciting, fun, enjoyable from start to finish. Which when you're making your Sumo Hall debut, your Noah debut, that's a pretty big ask. But when you live up to the expectation, not only that but surpass it, I think it's always a big deal. So Rey Escorpion, somebody who's just been kind of a mid-carder floundering around in AAA, and now he gets a big shot in a singles setting. Murph Burner.
Oh God.
You put it in the wrong way. Are you an astronaut looking down at space about to attack Sanada?
My beast of the week is not because of any wrestling. My beast of the week wasn't a wrestling match, but they didn't make me feel them because of the wrestling. My beast of the week just made me laugh very, very hard in a wrestling match. And that's hard to do these days. My beast of the week's a man from a pretty great place from Brooklyn, New York. My beast of the week is Isaiah Cassidy, because he made me hysterically laugh during the firm deletion. So, Isaiah Cassidy, you are my beast of the week.
Can we collectively also just throw in Yota Tsuji just for funsies?
Yeah, so I thought Murph was going for Tsuji then with the whole
I did too.
out of space thing. Because he was going to be mine before Bad Bunny.
At this point, do you really think I go for like the conventional choice?
I don't know, man. Sometimes it fits. I'm trying to set you up for success, but I got to go for my Rey Scorpio. So we'll throw him in the tweet. We'll just say sort of as a group, as a podcast.
Yeah,
we
I usually do the tweets. So I'll get him in.
Mm-hmm,
you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay, everybody. Our beasts of the week: Bad Bunny, Rey Scorpion, Isaiah Cassidy, and Yota Tsuji. I love that group right now. I think that's a ton of fun.
That's great.
You guys, we talked about a lot of fucking wrestling this week. I hope you enjoyed being here. I hope you enjoyed listening and watching if you are in the live chat. We appreciate you very much for being here.
You still here and you haven't liked the video?
Yeah, like the video, subscribe, all that garbage. I will never say that shit because I feel sad when I say it. But yeah, this time next week we will. Yeah, he'll do it. This time next week, we'll have the first couple nights of Best of the Super Juniors underway, so we'll give you a mid-tier report there. Not a ton. Obviously, we're in the week after Golden Week. But however, I'm sure there will be a lot of big-time card announcements in the next week as we set up the upcoming tours for all our big promotions. Jamie, off the top of your head, do you think of anything big that's coming up in the next week or so?
There's two Joshi shows I'm looking forward to that will happen by next week.
Good.
So Ree's back, which is happening by next week. Obviously there's a few big matches on there. She's against Big Hash in the main event, and then there's a New Blood card, which looks like one of the best New Blood cards Stardom have done, and that's happening this Friday. That's the Tam Nakano versus Tam Nakano Fever Dream, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, so. Other than that, not too much off the top of my head.
We'll definitely, and we'll talk a little bit of King of DDT as well. I think that sounds like a good. I can't remember if the tournament will be over by that point.
I
don't
forgot
think
about
so
King of
quite
DDT.
yet. But yeah, King of DDT is going on right now as well.
Hopefully it's good.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll be talking about that. I heard that Hideki Okatani put on a excellent performance.
You see, he impressed me all the time, so that makes sense.
I think this is like way too much praise, but he reminds me a little bit of a teensy little baby Okada.
Who's the
and
really
that's
young kid who just changed his name? He was El Unicorn. What's he now? Uni?
He's just a uni. Yeah,
Uni.
Stupid.
I really like him a lot too.
I don't like kid wrestlers. I think it's bad. But anyway, on that note, I appreciate all of you listening to the show. We talked about a ton of wrestling. I love Golden Week. Golden Week forever. Dumb Guy live forever. Ice Ribbon forever.
Stay dumb.
And we will catch you next time. Stay dumb, everybody.